Hi everybody, just sitting inside my 73 Boler here. I'm about to take a snap at replacing these Boler crank assembly replacements. The problem with mine are that when the window closes, in order for it to open again, you actually need somebody to go on the outside and pull the window open a bit before the assembly starts to work. So I think it's just a bit worn out, and I'm going to try and get in there, pull those pieces out, drill those bits out, and see if I can't just replace that assembly. And that's what it looks like there. I got these from Camping Treasures through Ian Giles. You can find him anywhere on the internet just by searching Camping Treasures. So let's see what we're going to do here. I have a 6.5 foot or 6.5 mil socket to take those out. Normally these come with screws, I think. This one has bolts, so I'm gonna see if I can't take it out with those, and that seems to be working just fine, so I'll be back with you in a second. What I'm gonna have to do here is remove this handle. It's just a little bit of you just need a screwdriver to remove that screw, and then that assembly should fall apart. Then the next thing I'm gonna have to do is pull those nuts out, and we'll see what happens. So thanks Ian for chiming in there on Facebook. So what I've been able to do here is I've had to take off the windows in order to get to the assembly a little bit easier. And the way that this looks, I'm just taking my window off here, is the window sort of sits on there like this. And there's a little screw on the side, 2 screws that fit the assembly. And you just take those screws out on either side and the window just slides right off. So, fairly easy step. One thing you probably don't want to do is lose the screws. So now I'm going to attempt to get in here a little bit and see if I can't remove that assembly and work this window out. So the first window, I got it done. It didn't exactly work out the way I wanted it to. I mean, it works, which is the good thing. I've got the new piece put in, which is great. But I couldn't really video along the way because I ran into a bunch of issues with broken pieces and things like that. So I'm going to try again with this window. The problem with this one is that it opens okay when I crank it. However, when I shut it, it continually cranks and it flaps in the wind when we're driving. So nobody needs a broken window. So we're going to go with what we've got here. And I've got the replacement pieces and all my tools. You wouldn't believe the different tools I had to use for the last one, but we'll give it a go. You see the side of the window here. I'm getting close enough. I'm not sure if you can see that. But there's 2 screws holding the windows on each panel on either side. So there's 8 screws altogether. And I'm just going to go ahead and remove those. And the windows slide right off. So you notice I got the window off. The next thing I had to do, there were these little gray pieces on the edge. They just pulled off. I'm not sure that every bowler has one. And this is the piece I'm trying to get to is right in here to replace. First, I have to get to these rivets down here and drill those out in order to get that side off. And then that was a little bit tough on the last window. This here, what I'm using is a 6.5 mil socket to take that one out. And then the super tough one is under here. It's underneath. I don't even know if you can see it, but it's right about in here somewhere. And then this whole piece, this whole contraption just comes right out. So I had those ones taken out, so that's good. This is now loose. This assembly is actually loose. The one thing I'm running into now is that this side, as I said before, I tried to drill out those rivets, and that gets a little bit tougher because they catch. But we got them out last time, so we'll get them out this time. Okay, here we are. I got that piece out. The rivets are drilled out. See all the little shavings there. And so from this point, all you need to do is carefully slide this guy back. There we go. Slide that back. Lift this piece up on this side. And then from here, the whole window assembly just comes right out. And you can lay it down. So there it is. We've got those pieces there. And on that side. And so now I'm just going to clean up these holes and make them usable again, so that I can put new rivets in and put these guys in, these, whatever these are called, back on the this side. About to take the old crank off, and you'll see I can't hold it and do it at the same time, I don't think. It just pulls off. It's just sitting, it's just slid on there. I can't really do it with one hand, so I'm gonna have to put my phone down for a sec. The new one's on. It just literally slid off, slides back on. Now what I want to do is it looks like I lost the other one there, but that's okay. Is I want to put the other side, which is just falling down here, back on. Slide it in, and either use screws, or I'm going to try and rivet those in because I like rivets, and then put the other side back on, and we'll get back to putting the window back together. So I've riveted those in, and that's nice and solid now. Bottom one didn't go in as well as I wanted it to. I've put this back on. This is the new crank, and everything works as it should. So now what you do is you just slide those windows back on, just up into these grooves here, and work in reverse. Put the windows back on and screw them in on the sides. There's 2 screws on either side. Windows are back on. I just replaced the screws that are on the side there. And that actually was a lot easier than the first one. And you come inside here and just test it. Looks like, oh, something's not right. It's a little bit tight in there somewhere. Okay. And it looks like it's actually catching right here though. No, I didn't put the windows on properly. Okay, I gotta take it off again. See, the top one is not fitting inside the bottom one, so that was my problem. I gotta redo that a little bit, and don't think this is an issue, but I'm not sure. I'll switch that window out. So I ran into a bit of a thing here. I accidentally put the windows on, put the top window on the bottom and the bottom window on the top, and who would have known Jalousie windows are a little bit different. So the bottom one, you want to make sure does not have the ridge along the top. The top one, in fact, has, you'll see the difference here, a wider ridge on top. The top one is actually on the bottom in this picture. You can see it here. So that ridge actually just fits right up underneath the rubber stopper there. It stops any rain from coming in. All right, I'm gonna install this, and then I'll show you the final product. It's back on. I got my helper in there, Grayson. Is gonna turn the crank just gently, right? Did something spill? Yeah. Okay, buddy, let's close the window and show everybody that it works. And there you go. Nothing to it. Looks like it's shutting all the way. Was it hard to do? No. Okay, so then it worked pretty good. And that's it. So here's our 73. I put a fan on top. We've got the Shady Boy awning, which we love. And if you ever see us, this is us. We're based out of Victoria, BC. And if you ever see our Boler around, come say hey.